In our part of our T program, Teacher Enhancement Assistance Program, today's guest lecturer is going to be Mrs. A.S. Purna Lakshmi. She has nearly about 23 plus years of teaching experience, starting from middle school, secondary, senior secondary, and now in the higher education sector. She is an approved lecturer for UG students by University of Madras. Some of her notable achievements, I can say, she has received Dr. Radhakrishnan's Teaching Excellency Award, and she is the Evening College Coordinator in Alpha Arts and Science College. She is a member of Board of Studies in Mother Teresa University, member committee constituted by the Central Board of Higher Education, CBSE of course. She is a resource person for mathematics for government schools of Tamil Nadu, especially for the 3 districts, Kanjipuram, Tiruvallur and Chennai. She is a resource person for the webinar, various webinars conducted by various schools and colleges. One of her achievements is make math a magic, 10 simple tips for teaching as well as learning mathematics. That was a great work done by her. She is the Chief Superintendent of University of Madras Examinations, Additional Chief Superintendent of IDE, Institute of Distance Education, University of Madras. She is engaging the people through her YouTube channels, Gracie Max 720, and an interesting part is she is giving lot of culinary tips through the Kanchu tips. Her teaching career started in Jayagopal Garodia School in 1997, continued in Chettinad Vidyashram, where I had a good fortunate enough to work with her for more than nearly 9 years. AM Matriculation School, Annai Velangani College, MGR Janaki College, Anna Adarsh College, and now she is head in Department of Mathematics in Alpha Arts and Science College. She has released various publications, a paper titled Graph Theory in the Analysis of Arithmophobia in the International Journal of Innovative Technology, and applications of operations research in cornea transplant, employee motivation in current scenario. She has presented a paper in an international conference. Instructional styles, another paper she presented in an international conference. Key challenges for women leaders, she has presented another paper. She used to give a guest lectures for various colleges, institutes, schools and other things. She has authored the mathematics books. In that 8th book of Samachit syllabus was appreciated and accepted by the government of Tamil Nadu. And her profile is going beyond the pages, but anyway, considering the time, I would say that she had a great passion towards math teaching. When I had a chance to work with her, I used to say that her class will be the one of the class where students will laugh till the end. Such a passionate mathematics teacher and a perfectionist. If she is not convinced with particular things, she will not accept it. Such a perfectionist. Continuously, she is giving her best to the students. Another one example, I could say that we are familiar with Guinness World Record Cuber. Do you remember his name? Anyone, can you unmute and tell? Guinness World Record Cuber, who was a teacher for our children for few years.
Mr. Ilayaram, sir.
Yes, sir. And she is the teacher of Ilayaram.
Wow, that's great.
It's another interesting crown for her. And when I request her, ma'am, you need to talk with our teacher, immediately said, yes, sir. Right? That sort of great, passionate teacher. We used to call her. We used to always have a pet name with each other. When the teacher called, we used to call her the Jhansi Rani of Chettinad Vyashram. So, welcome, Purnalakshmi ma'am. Right?
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for such a wonderful introduction.
Great.
Good morning, everyone.
Before we start, let me tell you, ma'am. So ours is a group of schools, somewhat you may know. So our school was started by a maths teacher, a passionate maths teacher. He is a teacher legend in this area. RJ Master. When the people hear this name, definitely the way how the people used to react for that name, that's really even today I could see. And generation after generation, his third generation children are studying in our school. The first generation, that's maybe the grandfather, maybe the student of our RJ Master, and it may be continued. Even RJ Master, our RJ Master student is the CEO of the school, Mr. Bonesh, you may know him. So he was also a computer science teacher for some time, and now he's an education administrator. And now the third generation, the grandsons are also studying in our school. It's a great privilege for us. So such a teacher with a maths background. And another interesting thing is, two more principals are joining here. One is Mr. Sudarshanam sir. He is also a mathematics expert who is a principal of our main school. That is our first school, 50-year-old school. And another school is in Ayanavaram. Mr. Robinson, I hope he will also join with us. So these people are all really, they have dedicated a lot to the mathematics and they are upholding the flag of math.
Nice to hear that.
But you know about me. I'm zero in mathematics.
Everyone is an expert in their own subject, sir.
Okay. Great, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. And I welcome all the teachers from our sister concern also. So next, let us keep our eyes and ears open to learn a lot from our Purnalakshmi ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so privileged and honored to be in your institution today. I thank the management for arranging this FDP, and my special thanks to Mr. Balan sir, principal, for inviting me for this webinar. And I was really impressed to see a broad smile on all your faces when you all joined the meeting. Having a FDP on a Saturday is not so enjoyable, but still I will make it interesting for you. And at the end of the session, I think all of you will take something, and at the end of the session, you will also give me some ideas for me to do my next FDP. And this is not going to be a seminar where I am going to address you or I am going to teach you something, nothing of that sort. Whatever I've learned in this 23 years of experience, whatever I've observed among the students, what I thought will be right for the students, what I thought will be wrong for the students, all such things I'm here to share with you. And I expect the same interactive session. I expect everyone to share your ideas too with me, and let it be an interactive session. And whenever you want to talk to me or you want to interrupt, please do unmute yourself and you can talk to me. That is what I also expect for today's session. And and thank you so much, Balan sir, for such a wonderful introduction. And I think one thing I would like to tell you, which went wrong, is I was a very strict teacher in the beginning. I think sir forgot to say that, but gradually, maybe after 5-6 years of experience, I thought my implementations were wrong, and then I changed. And gradually, I think in 10 years of time, from tutor to mentor, I became a mentor from a tutor, and now that is what I am going to share with you all. Let me share my screen with you.
Perfect.
So this is going to be especially for the tutors. I'm sharing some ideas on how to become a mentor. Okay. Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself. This is one of my favorite quotes. Okay, yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world was what I was 23 years back. And now I am changing myself according to the batch of students I get every year. Now I am beginning with a story of a lost ring and a teacher. I think many of you would have heard this story, but this is for those who have not heard this story or read this story. A student lost his ring in the classroom. The teacher received a complaint about it, and the teacher asked everyone to assemble in a place, and he advised all the students that this is a very bad act, and he told all the students to stand in a line blindfolded so that nobody will see each other, and he requested the boy who stole the ring to put the ring in his pocket and stand. And then this was done. All the students assembled in a place, they lined up in a place, and they tied their eyes, and the boy who stole the ring put the ring inside the pocket, and the teacher went around. Then he checked in everybody's pocket, and in one pocket he could take the ring out. He took the ring out and gave it to the person who lost it. And this happened, and after the students, they grew up and they became the alumni of the school, and there was an alumni meet where this boy who stole the ring also came to the school. He wanted to meet the teacher badly, so he went to the teacher and he spoke to the teacher. The teacher was so nice to the boy, he was so pleasing, and the boy had a shock, and the boy asked the teacher, "Sir, are you not angry with me that I stole the ring that day?" And then the teacher said, "This is the first time I'm hearing that you stole the ring. I never knew who stole the ring that day because I was also blindfolded." He said the teacher was also blindfolded. That means he didn't want the other children to know that the boy has stolen the ring, and he too didn't want to know who stole the ring, because later in the class or somewhere he will have that feeling, and he will definitely speak in the way that this boy is a bad boy. So he didn't want that to happen. So he also blindfolded himself and he took out the ring. I think you all enjoyed the story that this teacher was not a tutor, he was a mentor here. And I would like to tell you one more story, and then we will have some interaction. This is the story of Thomas Alva Edison. Thomas Alva Edison, as it is, was not a genius, but his mom makes him a genius. You know what happened in the school when Thomas Edison was studying? One day the teacher gave him a letter and asked him to give the letter to only his mom. Listen, the teacher wanted the boy to give the letter only to his mom. So Thomas Edison came home. He gave the letter to his mom and told that only you have to read it and you shouldn't give it to anybody. And the mother reads the letter with tears. Tears rolled down her eyes. She hugged the boy and she said, "I will read out the letter loudly." And she read out the letter loudly. It said, "The school is too small for him and does not have good teachers." Listen, the school is too small for him and does not have good teachers. Please teach him yourself. Tears rolled down the mother's eyes. She hugged the boy and she said, "You are not going to school anymore, my child. You are going to stay at home and you will learn from me." As an educator, the mother educates the son Edison. And after a few years, you know, Edison was a genius in that century. He became a genius in the century. And the years passed. Edison's mother passed away. And Edison was cleaning the house. He was taking everything all old things, all family pictures and everything. And he noticed a small paper in the drawer of the desk. One small rolled paper in the drawer of the desk. So what she does is, she took out the paper. Edison took out the paper and he read what was written there. He was shocked to see these things written in the paper. It said, "Your son is mentally ill. We won't let him come to school anymore." The teacher had written years back about Edison that your son is mentally ill. We won't let him come to school anymore. And now the genius Thomas Alva Edison poured out like anything. He cried for hours and he took his diary and wrote there, Thomas Alva Edison was an adult child By a hero mother, he became a genius of the century. I repeat, Thomas Alva Edison was an adult child. By a hero mother, he became the genius of the century. These two stories, I think these two stories would have given you some idea about what is a mentor and what is a genius. Can I have in the chat box, you want to be a category of A or a category of B? The first teacher is not a tutor, he was a mentor. And the second teacher did not believe her own student and she sent him away. Can I have in the chat box A or B? I thought I will create a poll, direct poll for the session, but I want everybody else to see the answers. I think majority, I would not say majority, everyone wants to be a teacher of A category. Okay, so it is not so difficult to become a tutor, to become a mentor from a tutor. It is just a small line between a tutor and a mentor. So what we learn in our experience will teach us to become a mentor. And now I know there are so many mentors. Sir, I think 168 who has joined are going to become mentors, and some are already mentors here. So happy to see the chat box. So we will, with the same excitement, we will move on to the next slide. I hope everybody is able to see. Happiness is a state of mind. Look at the picture. There are two boys standing on the victory stand. The boy who got the first prize, there is no joy on his face, no smile on his face. Whereas the boy who is standing in the third place, who got the third prize, is so cheerful, such a broad smile on his face. So this is what is required for every one of us. We should enjoy the present moment. So knowingly or unknowingly, willingly or unwillingly, we would have taken this profession. Some would have taken out of passion for teaching. Some would have taken by force. Like for example, you will have small kids at home and you would like to go home early. You don't want IT jobs, corporate jobs, and you would have taken this job as a profession. So whatever it may be, that's what I'm telling. Willingly or unwillingly, we have taken this profession, and let us enjoy the present moment. Let us enjoy the profession. Then nothing will go wrong. We will give our best. Now this is another wonderful quote I like. I used to share it with my students too. The ladder of success is never crowded at the top. The ladder of success is never crowded at the top, and we never like to be in a crowded place. We will want to be in a place which is comfortable, and that is the ladder of success, which is not crowded at the top. So it is we who have to decide whether we reach the top or we want to stand below in the crowded place. And you know, nobody has climbed the ladder of success with the two hands in their pocket. No one has climbed the ladder of success with their two hands in the pocket, because climbing the ladder of success itself is a difficult process, but we will have to do it enjoyably to taste the success. The instructions given by a pencil maker. I'm going to start my session, a session with the pencil. I'm going to end the session also with the pencil. The pencil maker made colorful pencils, and before sending it out, he is giving few instructions to the pencil. You know what he says? The outer is a beautiful colored wooden case. What is truly important actually is the lead which lies inside. I repeat, what is outside is the colorful wooden case, which is not so important. But what is inside is so important. Which decides our attitude is what is inside. So what we wear, the valuables, wear clothes and all, that is valuable. What is inside is the value. So you have to know the difference between the valuables and values. As and when we think of improving our values, we definitely go forward, move forward, and we are, remember, every day we are climbing the ladder of success. And our altitude is decided by what we are within and not what we show outside. Our outside is our personality, inside is about being a genuine, sincere person. Charisma, style, character, our presentation, how we speak, our morals, our principles, all that we hold, they all are different from the values. Our outside is our valuables and our inside is the values. Now, again, you just please see the picture. I will stop sharing this PPT and we are going to come back to our chat box. Do you all know what the picture is? Who this person is? Shall I stop sharing and come to the chat box? Yes. Now, what did you all think when you looked at the video of Bhagwan sir? Be honest. Yeah, he is a government teacher of Tiruvallur district. Bhagwan sir, most wanted. The most wanted sir for the students. And the government revoked his transfer order. The government revoked his transfer order. And with 4 years of teaching experience, he has created a history. With 4 years of teaching experience, he has created a history. Yeah, a very good mentor. Now, what did you all think when you looked at the video? When you watched the video, what did you all think? What was your feeling when you saw this video? Inspired, gem of a person, okay. Role models. But I am expecting one answer. I am not getting that answer in the chat box. Love for children, everything. But I am expecting one answer. To be honest, I would say I wanted myself in that place. I just thought this. After 23 years, when I watched the video, I thought, I wish I had been there in that place. Such a valuable person. He has achieved something in 4 years of his teaching. Didn't you all think about that? I really wished to be in that place. So that is a small line. He impressed the students in a way or other. He has touched the feelings of the students in a way or other. So that small difference makes sense. So that is what we are planning to do now. Let's move on. This is a small activity for you. Just imagine in the morning, if somebody wakes you up saying you are precious. Your mother or your husband or your child wakes you up. Child doesn't wake us up. If anybody wakes you up in the morning saying you are precious, how do you all feel? How do you all feel? Very happy, blessed and happy, excited, enthusiastic, happy? Yes. Now, I would ask something. If you think you are precious, why do you wait for somebody else to say that you are precious? Why do you have to wait for somebody else to say that you are precious? Stand before the mirror. Whenever you stand before the mirror, say to yourself, you are precious. When I interact, if I had come to your college, I would have asked, each one of you to look at the next person and say you are precious. But since it's a webinar, I'm not able to do that. Let us all say once to ourselves, I am precious, and see how you feel. Can you share your feelings? Just tell yourself, I am precious. Feel that you are precious. You are a precious mother. You are a precious sister. You are a precious teacher. You are precious staff. You are a precious faculty for the college, for the school. Don't you feel proud? So why not tell ourselves, feel ourselves, think ourselves that we are precious. So shall we move on with the same excitement to the next slide? Yeah, you are proud to be a special educator. Good. Bare facts will not impress anybody. So I'm going to share with you a lot of stories today. I'm going to share with you a lot of stories today. And just before going to the story, before going to the anecdote, just look at this slide. I want to be the best daughter or son. I want to be the best mom or dad. I want to be the best neighbor. I want to be the best friend. We all want to be loved by everybody, praised by everybody. Can we just change that statement to this? I want to be the best mentor. I want to be the best empathetic person. I want to be the best tutor. I want to be the best guide for their future, for your kids' future as well as students' future. Now, a good teacher is like a candle. It consumes itself to light the way of others. I'm sure many of you would have got these quotes, and you will even feel boring to see these quotes once again in my slide. But there is a purpose of giving you this, okay? What a teacher writes on the blackboard of life can never be erased. Teachers who put relationships first don't just have students for 1 year. They have students who view them as their teacher for life. Teachers who put relationships first do not just have students for 1 year. They have students who view them as their teacher for life. The secret in education lies in respecting the student. The secret lies in respecting the students. Respecting the students. I'm going to have a few 5-minute session for that. What exactly you mean respecting? Students will forget what the books taught, but they will never forget what the teacher said. All this is fine. All this is enjoyable to read about the teachers because it's our profession. But what kind of students are we handling now? The earlier period was different. The students respected the teachers. The parents also respected the teachers so much. They will say, I remember my friend's mother used to say, leave the ice and beat him up nicely, let him become all right. But now we are so scared to talk to the student also. In our school, in our college, it so happened a few years back, one boy who was misbehaving in the class was sent out of the class. And the next day, what he did, he wrote a letter saying that I am committing suicide because of this teacher with the name. He put it in his pocket and he was in the 3rd floor. So we are so scared to handle the students. So such kind of students are there, and when earlier when it was 10% amidst the whole class, student set of students, now we are having 80% like that and the 20% behaving good. Okay, so it is a very difficult situation. I agree that I have also experienced that in these years, and we have to be very careful while handling the students. Now, I showed you all the quotes about the faculty, about our profession. All that is nice. But somebody would have thought, why ma'am is talking about the teachers only? Why not about the students? I have few slides for the students as well. The teacher says, where's your book? The student at home. And the teacher says, and what's it doing there? And student answers, having more fun than me. This is the way that students talk nowadays. They have fun in that. And one boy answers like this. Gradually, the other group of students also join with him to have fun, irritating us in the class. And have you seen this one? My teacher pointed me with this ruler and said, at the end of this ruler, there is an idiot. I got detention after asking which end. This is from the student side. And this is also happening in our class. Now, how do we handle these things? How do we handle these disobedient students? Can I have it in the chat box? If a student is very unruly, what type of punishment you give? Can you type in the chat box? What are your strategies? The strategies? Be friendly with them. Nancy says be friendly with them. Talk to them personally. Give them responsibility. Yeah, giving them some responsibility is very good. We can speak to them personally. But at that moment, what do you feel? At that moment, what do you feel? Listen to them. Be affection, guide him, handle patiently, all that okay. Do you feel like sending them out of the class? Do you feel like sending them out of the class? No. But if you send them out of the class, I will tell you what the reaction will be. What is the reaction? The students will think like this. If the teacher says get out, it means you have won the argument. So let us not give this, let us not push the student to this level. So if you try to be angry with them, or if you try to send them out, or if you punish them, then the student is winning the argument and you are not. So let us all hereafter think of strategies where we will win the argument. Okay? And this is another slide which says the difference between teaching and mentoring. Okay? Teacher, responsible for student learning is teacher and the mentee. What is the size? A tutor and a mentor. A tutor has 1:x, that x can be more than 1. But mentoring is 1-to-1. How many ever students you have in the class, you interact with them 1-to-1. You know them personally. Show them the concern they require. That is mentoring. Choose your teacher. No, the student doesn't choose a teacher. But if you are a mentor, he will choose you. Yes, mentor and mentee choose each other. Teacher lives what they teach, not require. Teacher need not behave the way she teaches others. But mentor, this is the reason why they are chosen. Mentor has to follow whatever she is telling the students. Discipline through authority. The teacher authoritatively says something to the students, whereas the mentor doesn't. Mentor sees to that the student is disciplined in her own strategies. Leadership, try to lead by example more often. As a tutor, know you are leading by example all the time. So your mentor doesn't have to teach them anything. She will simply be a role model, just like the Bhagavan sir, and many more in your school, many more in across the country. The title or position for teacher it is given, for mentoring it is earned. Now we'll go to the next slide. Anything in excess is bad, including power. Now what do I mean to say this power? What do I mean to say by this power? Now as a teacher, I've observed some teachers giving the students some work like bring my helmet, okay, bring my helmet, bring my handbag. This happens in some of the schools. They show their power there. And the small ones, even if they send them to the canteen also, they will go to the canteen and bring food and all that. So once you do this, maybe in the period when you are a teacher in that school, for him maybe 1 or 2 years, he will have the fear to do that. But you will lose our respect. We will definitely lose our respect if we give work to the. But instead, now I have even observed teachers ask if they go to the 3rd floor without a textbook or something, they will ask the students to. Now, in my experience, I am a 49-year-old. I am a diabetic, severe diabetic patient for the past 15 years. But still, when I go to the 3rd floor and I would have attended a meeting somewhere, and quickly I will go to the 3rd floor, and I may have to refer a textbook or something, or I would have forgotten to take the assignments which I have to distribute to the students, all that. I will go down to my staff room and bring it myself. And students will ask, whether they have to help me, but I will not take the help of the students at all. And this is one small gesture we should follow when we want to become a mentor. And what do you mean by respect? Already we saw. What do you mean by respecting the students? Now, respecting a student is not saluting him every day. But for example, now we are having placement training every day for the college students, and this is happening online. And when we have online classes, that is, if suppose the timing is 4 to 5, 5 o'clock, I will wait for the students to log out. I will wait for the students to log out. Even if it is 10 minutes, I will wait. And the students who log out, he will log in again and say, ma'am, thank you, and then he will leave. Because that respect which we give to the students matters so much that we gain respect. And some students even say, when they are filling, they have to fill some exit forms and the Padlet kind of things. And the moment 5 o'clock comes, 5 o'clock, if you log out as a teacher, then we are not respecting the students. So this is a small gesture what we do for the students. So we have to wait. Of course, we all have some work at home, and this is also another nice thing. I try to be a nice person, but sometimes my mouth doesn't want to cooperate. Now, sometimes these children irritate us to the core that we get angry, and without control, our words fall down. But as it is, we want to be a nice person. Okay, but we don't intend to scold them, but sometimes it happens. Once in my classroom, a boy who was troubling, I asked him to come to the first bench, and he immediately said, I am paying fees to the college, so I will sit here only. So these kind of statements definitely will irritate you, and your anger we will not be able to control our anger, and words will fall down. But we'll have to guard our words. Carve your words before it falls from your mouth. Okay, carve your words. So the difference, I just taken few statements. Uncarved, get your head up. If a boy is not listening to you, get your head up. But instead, you can say, are you feeling okay? Is everything all right? What's the matter? How can I help you? See the difference. Why were you absent yesterday? Instead of saying that we missed you, are you feeling good? It is very difficult to practice, but still, let us take time to practice this. Tell me when you don't understand. Tell me when you don't understand. Negative. But tell me when I am unclear. So you are putting the fault on you. We are blaming ourselves. Tell me when I am unclear. You don't know that. You don't know that yet. Just a word extra. You don't know that yet. Don't be late for online class. Don't make your friends wait. Let's start the session on time. I'm again telling you, it's very difficult to practice. We'll get angry at times, but still let's practice. Don't fail in my subject. Let me be happy that you all passed in my subject. So there's a lot of difference between this statement and the other statement, carved and uncarved, but both meaning the same. Now this I just came across this in my inbox, WhatsApp inbox. Earlier we used to learn Renan Martin, and the words, the vocabulary used to be so good. We can carve our words. But now, because of these WhatsApp messages and all that, English has gone. Now, improvement graph. This is just an improvement graph, my improvement graph. I'm just sharing it with you. Now, how do you carve your words? How do you mind our words? How do we mind our behavior with the students? And all that is improving ourselves. Okay, every year you think that you have to improve. So when I started my career in 1997, other than teaching experience, I did not have anything. Okay, gradually I started my authoring books, writing articles, paper presentations, paper publications, participation in FDP seminar. I will keep in my mind that this year I have to do that. And this year I have to present 2 papers. First semester 1 paper, second semester 1 paper. Like that I will plan. Just like how I planned for my son, I used to plan for myself also. And that is why I have joined the PhD at the age of 48. I've joined my PhD. I wanted to do. So every year I will fix some goals for myself. And when you start improving yourself, then you will definitely get you will know how to handle the students. So it is not that you learn, don't do this, don't do that with the students. It is just improving our inner self, just like our pencils. So for this, we need self-motivation. So now I am going to only tell you some stories on self-motivation. Once you know how to handle the problems, then automatically we will become a mentor. So this self-motivation, it increases efforts, productivity increases, challenges you to see things differently, challenges you to see things differently. This is most important for becoming a mentor. Now, obstacle becomes your strength, enables to stay positive, power to touch the lives of people around you. Don't you think it is very important for a mentor? Power to touch the lives of people around you. Performing becomes a habit. Performing becomes a habit. No derailed situation. No situation you will think you are insulted. When the students or your colleagues or somebody talks to you in a humiliating manner, you will never think that that is a derailed situation. You will know how to handle the situation. There is a quote in English which says, nobody can make you feel insulted. Nobody can make you feel inferior without your knowledge. So that is what happens when you are self-motivated. And what all you have to practice for being this? Exercise. As everyone says, exercise wakes you up. Review preset goals. You would have had some goals. You would have set some goals. You can review the goals. Try to see things differently. Look at the bigger and better picture. Look at the bigger and better picture of yourself. So when I did my MPhil in 95, 96, I joined in school. I worked in Jai Gopal, and then I worked in Chettinad Vidyashram. But still I had a goal to become a professor, maths professor in college. So set your goals big. Okay, look at yourself in a bigger place. And being a teacher, of course, you do this job is very good, I agree. But still, you can improve yourself in this itself. Once we get contented with something, then we will not plan to go higher at all. Stay positive. Get a small reward for yourself. So whenever you do something good, take a reward for yourself. Let us not wait for others to do it. Create a good environment. Start with easy tasks. Strike a conversation with positive people. You should always have positive people around. Somebody who is encouraging you. Keep yourself organized. Let us have a small activity now. If you have a pencil or a pen next to you, any small object, please take it in your left hand. If you have a pen or pencil, anything, please have it in your left hand. Anything, any small eraser or any object, you take it in your left hand. Use your right hand to take the object from the left hand. Use your right hand to take the object from the left hand. You took the pen, I think. No, you took the, okay. Yes, I can see Kausi, Vijayan. Okay, you take it. Again, leave it in the left hand. Put it back in the left hand. Take it in your right hand. Easy. Now put it back in the left hand. And try to take it. Try to take it. You will not take the pen. You will not take the object. You will not touch the object. You will pretend as though you are taking. You will pretend as though you are taking. So if you can see my this one, I am leaving it in my left hand. I am taking it back. I am leaving it in my left hand. I am taking it back. I am leaving it in my left hand, and I am trying to take it. I am trying to take it. I am not touching. I am only trying to take it. Now tell me which was difficult. Now tell me which was difficult. Chat box. Trying to take it. I think everyone will agree. Trying to take it is difficult. Taking is easy. Okay. So trying to do something is difficult. Doing is easy. Trying to improve our communication skill is difficult. Okay. Learning communication skill is easy. Trying to achieve something is difficult, but achieving something is easy. So set your goals. Now, as a school teacher also, you can write articles. You are an expert in your subject. So why don't you try? See, all of you are having your Android phones. So why don't you try to upload a video One person may be very good in English, expressing English or teaching English. One will be having some nice tips in mathematics. One will be teaching beautifully her science subject. So all of us are having Android phones and all of us are having a YouTube channel. Have you ever thought of uploading one video in your YouTube channel? When I uploaded my first video in YouTube channel for 2 years back, it was so difficult for me because my son also was working in another state, Bangalore, so no technical help for me. So it took around 5 hours, 6 hours for me to upload one video. But now I can do it easily. Okay, so when you see your video, first two or three videos will not be that very good, but we will get the content is good. The content is really good. So let us try about that. Is the first step. So have you ever thought of doing this? Now in this pandemic, you can see many teachers have uploaded their videos and the biology, botany and all. They have used the pictures from the textbook only. They have not done much, but they've used textbook pictures itself and explaining so very well that the students have subscribed to her channel quickly. So you all are talented, you all are experts in your subject. But have you ever thought of doing something? Have you ever thought of writing an article? What you've experienced? First step, write an article, publish somewhere, write a paper, do a paper presentation, grab the opportunities. And this is another favorite quote of mine. Opportunities are like biscuits dipped in tea. I don't know if you have come across this. Opportunities are like biscuits dipped in tea. If you are late to take it, it will dissolve. If you are late, it will dissolve. Now, if you have not had your own channel, you are late. Because if you had started this earlier, and this pandemic, you could have used it. Many would have seen your videos, isn't it? So let us not be a dipped biscuit. Okay, grab the opportunities. Now I'm going to share my screen once again. So I told you I'm going to make it interesting with some anecdotes, short stories. Now look at this quote. Without your involvement, you cannot succeed. With your involvement, you can't fail. This is a nice quote actually. Now I'm going to give you an anecdote for this, related to this. There was a sculptor who was making sculptures. Statues. There was a sculptor who was making statues. And a passerby noticed that he had one statue on the other side, and he was making a very similar statue with him. So the passerby asked, "Why are you making another one? That statue is good enough. So why are you making a similar one again?" And the sculptor says, "No, there I have made a small mistake in the nose portion." So immediately the passerby goes, he looks around, and he sees some small mistake in the nose, that not very major. And then he is asking the sculptor, "Where are you going to place this statue?" And the sculptor says, "I'm going to place the statue on a 80 feet tall pillar." Please note, there is an 80 feet tall pillar. On top of this statue has to be installed. And the passerby asks, "What is this? It's a fun. You are going to keep it on an 80 feet tall pillar. Who will notice the mistake? You better don't waste the time. You do it. Don't do it again. You keep the old one itself." But you know what the sculptor said? He said, "Nobody will notice because it is on a tall pillar. But I will know that there is a mistake. I will know that there is a mistake." That is the way, that is the involvement we should have when we do our work. That is the involvement we should have. Let us not wait for others to blame. We should ourselves know that the work is perfect. So when you know your worth, when you can deliver 100%, when you are capable of 100%, why do you give discounts to people? You should not be a discounted problem. I'm not talking about discounted sarees or we ourselves should not be a discounted product. When you know your worth, stop giving people discounts. And do not get distracted. Stay focused on your goal. And this is a nice story, anecdote about ants and sugar syrup. Now in olden days, in the sweet stalls and all that, there won't be any single ant on the sweets. Now also. But imagine in our house, if you keep one pinch of sugar on the table, so many ants will come. So how do you manage? How do they manage so many sweets in the sweet stall? It is a simple thing. In the, they will make one canal-like thing on the floor, some small, tiny groove, narrow groove-like thing on the floor, and they will pour sugar syrup. So what these ants will do is they will get so much tempted towards the sugar syrup that they go drink that and fall into the sugar syrup. But you know, the ant's goal is to taste the sweets, but it gets distracted to the sugar syrup. That is what happens for most of us in our life. We will be having high goals, okay, but when we are getting a smaller happiness, petty things will distract us, and we get satisfied with that. For example, you want to become a principal of the school or anything, and when you get a smaller position, yes, enjoy the moment, and give your fullest, but still your goal is something else. Okay, so what you have to do for that goal? You have to prepare yourself, you have to develop your skill. All that also has to happen simultaneously, but enjoy the present moment. No one cares about your efforts, only the results. This is another story I'm going to share with you. Eggs in the nest and the owner. It was circulated in the WhatsApp and all that. My habit is to collect all these stories whenever I come across such stories. A owner of a farm I used to go around in the morning to see all the birds and his plants, trees and all that. One day he notices few eggs in the nest of one of the trees. He saw one nest and few eggs are there in the. So he got so curious. So every day he used to go to the farm and look at the eggs. And one day the eggs are cracked. Slightly it is cracked. And then he got so excited, he informed all his friends. And again, every day morning, he will go and see what's happening to the eggs. And one day, the crack slightly broadened, and he could see the embryos struggling to come out. I am repeating, the eggs cracked a little more, and the embryos were struggling to come out. The next day again, the embryos did not come, it was struggling. Third day again, the embryos did not come, it was struggling. And then the owner didn't know what to do. So what he did is he took something and he slightly broadened the crack, thinking that he is making the process easier. Okay. And the next day he noticed nothing, no movement at all with the embryos. Third day also, then he had a feeling that the embryos are dead. Then he immediately informed his friend, one of his friends who is an expert there in this field. And he asked him to come to his place and see what's happened. And his friend also comes to the place and he sees that the embryos are dead. Then he asks the owner of the farm, "What did you do with the eggs? What did you do with the eggs?" And this owner explained everything to his friend. He said, "I wanted to make the process easier, so I slightly broadened the crack." And then the friend scolded him nicely, and he said, "You know what you have done? The embryo has to undergo the process. The process may be difficult, but it has to undergo. That is when they will develop their skills. And you have made the process easier, and they are dead." So this you relate it with our lives also. When we want to improve ourselves, there will be a lot of humiliation. There will be a lot of disappointments. Some problems, some mistakes will be exaggerated by someone next to you. Everything will happen. And you will be put into some depression. Everything will happen, but we have to undergo the process. And this 23 years of my life was not very good. Okay, there will be ups and downs. There will be some humiliations. All that you keep moving from one place to another, but still upgrade yourself. Every time you are humiliated, you must think about your goal and upgrade yourself. Now identify your core competency. Change the playing field to suit the core competency. New version of Hare and Tortoise story. I don't know whether you've come across this new version of Hare and Tortoise story. What this says is you will be an expert in your own. Don't compare yourself with other person. He might be an expert in his own field. I may be a different person. So what I am capable of, I have to improve in that field only. Okay. Now this is a lovely version of Hare and Tortoise story. What is the old story? All of you know the old story. The tortoise and hare, they have a race, and the hare is so overconfident that it sleeps under the tree, and the tortoise wins the race. and slow and steady wins the race. This was what the old people, elderly people taught us. When I was in school days, and I was listening to this story only. But the story does not end. That is the new version. The story does not end. Okay, fast and consistent will always win the slow and steady. That is the next level. You know what? The hare was overconfident in the first race, and it sleeps under the tree. The next time it becomes alert. So what happens? It is very, it is alert, and it runs fast, and it wins the race. The moral of the story is fast and consistent will always win, and slow and will win the, fast and consistent will always win the slow and steady. The story doesn't end, it continues. The story doesn't end, it continues. Now, identify the core competency. Now the tortoise thinks what mistake it has done, and it is changing the race track. It is changing the race track. The hare this time decides another route where there is a river in between. The tortoise decides on this route where there is a river in between. The hare sat there wondering. The hare, what does it do? It comes to the river. It runs fast till the river. After that, he could not do anything. He sits and keeps wondering. Whereas the tortoise crosses the river and it reaches the destination, and it wins the race. Story doesn't end now. Story continues. Okay. Now what happens? Look at this picture. Both of them plan another race. This is a fourth race. And on the road, the hare takes the tortoise on its back. The hare carries the tortoise on its back. And once the river comes, the tortoise carries the hare on its back. And both of them win the race. See this? Both of them win the race. And what does it say? The moral of the story is, it's good to be individually brilliant and to have strong core competencies. But unless you are able to work in a team and harness each other's core competencies, I repeat this word, harness each other's core competencies, you will always perform below par. Because there will always be situations at which you will do poorly and someone else does well. So why I am telling you this story is, now we'll have to succeed together. So in a group, in a group of teachers, you may need somebody else's help to improve. Say they know which journal to publish, what kind of competitions are coming up. One may be very alert, and they will be looking into these things, which teacher competition I have to apply. And one may be good at something else. Now, when you harness each other's competencies, together you can grow. Together you can grow, and that is very nice. Only when you succeed, you will know that, you will feel that happiness. This is what I already told you. If two people have one idea each, they have one idea only. But if they share, they have two each. If two people have one idea each, they have one idea. But if they share, they have two ideas each. And this is another, my favorite picture. Look at the junklins on the left side. Only one is thinking differently and becoming a aeroplane. There is no success in your comfort zone. This is what I experienced once. I had a fish tank in my house, a bowl in my house, and when I was getting ready to college, in a hurry, my hand fell on the fish tank, and it fell on the floor and broke. And the fishes were struggling to breathe amidst the glass pieces, broken glass pieces. So I was also in a hurry, so I did not know what to do. So immediately I filled the bathtub with water. I put all the fishes into the bathtub, and I went to college. The evening when I came back, I could see the fishes moving in a circle. The fishes moving in a circle, the same as the diameter of the ball. Same as the diameter of the ball. Now can you think now? Now we are all, that is the comfort zone of the fish. So we are also like that. If something is comfortable in a place, we think only that. We don't think beyond that. We are stuck. While teaching also, sometimes we are stuck. We have to think in a different way. So if 10 people are introducing this chapter in this way, I have to introduce in a different way. I have to introduce in a unique way. And you have so many videos, so many. If matrices, even till now, when I go to classes, I will just go through the videos how matrices are introduced to students. I will see if you are, and you will get your own. Sometimes your planning will be different from others also. It will be unique. So when you watch some videos, some books and all that, every year you can improve and you will become the best, because now you're going to start with your own YouTube channels, so you can be the best, inspiring. Now change your point of view. Look at this picture. Once you see, the plates will look inverted. The plates will look inverted. But after some time you can see the plates are open. So this is our point of view. Any problem, anything, the first view will be different, will lead you, will mislead you. Okay, the same problem, when you come out of the problem and think of it, you will get better solutions. And look at this, the trees are natural, the soil is natural, the rock is natural, the river is natural. Okay, but just look at the rock, it is hanging from the air. Is it possible? The picture is so complicated. Is it possible? No. Can you all see the rock is hanging from somewhere? Okay, just change the view. I am tilting the picture and look at this picture. It is just a rock on the river. The soil is the same, the rock is the same, the plants are the same, the river is the same, but our view only has changed. Our view has changed, and it is a very simple picture. When you know how to handle our own problems, we will definitely become great mentors. This is a picture of limbless man, no hands, no legs, Nick Vujicic. You can now I cannot show any video here, but you can go to the website. You can note down the name. You can look at the video of Nick Vujicic. Such a wonderful thing. Look at the smile on his face. With no limbs, he is so charming. He is so confident. He is swimming, and these pictures will inspire us. Now, don't give up. If you try, don't give up. Don't hurry. Don't worry. You are neither early nor too late. You are just on time. If something is holding you back, listen to this story. 3 donkeys tied to the tree. We all have some mental blocks. We have to come out of that mental blocks. The mental blocks are not real. They are just imaginary. Okay. If we come out of the mental blocks, we can expedite our journey towards our goal. Okay. This is a story of 3 donkeys. A farmer was taking 3 donkeys with him to the market. Okay. On the way, he sees a river and he wants to have a dip. He's so tempted to have a dip. So he wants to tie the 3 donkeys to the tree. But unfortunately, he had only 2 ropes. He had only 2 ropes to tie the donkeys. Okay. So what he does is, he ties the 2 donkeys and he keeps wondering what to do. And one intelligent, wise man passes by, and he understood the situation, and he says, you tie the 2 donkeys such a way that the 3rd donkey looks at the 2 donkeys tied, and you go have a dip. So he does the same thing. The 3rd donkey is watching the other 2 donkeys getting tied, and then keeps quiet. Then the farmer goes to the river and has a dip, and he comes back, and he was shocked to see all 3 donkeys standing still, no movement at all. And then what he does, he removes the 2 donkeys, and then he starts walking. But the 3rd donkey is not moving. So he goes back, he gives a tap on the 3rd donkey, says move, and then he starts walking. Again, the 3rd donkey is not moving. Okay, so he doesn't know what to do. It is not tied also, but he is not moving. The same wise man looks at this and he says, you pretend as though you are untying the donkey. But the farmer says, I did not tie the donkey. Why should I untie? No, it is under the impression that you have tied. So you untie the donkey. You pretend as though you are untying the donkey, and it will start moving. And same happened. He went and pretended as though he's untying the donkey, and this donkey started moving. So what is the moral of this story? It says that we all have some mental blocks which is imaginary. When we come out of that, definitely you will have a different vision on things and improve. Now, when you are struggling to make a right choice, regardless of whether they are right or wrong choices, we can benefit by it. Sometimes life puts you in this situation, in a dilemma. whether to do this or that. Only two. I have to choose only one. And what should I do? So Balan sir, can I continue, sir? Can I take 10 more minutes?
Yeah, please, ma'am. Please, ma'am. You can.
Okay. So struggling to make a right choice, regardless of whether they are right or wrong, the choices we make can benefit us. I happen to see this quote. I think Tata quote. I think he says, "I don't take right decisions. I take decisions and then make them right." I'll repeat this. I take Ratan Tata's quote, I think. I don't take right decisions. I take decisions and make them right. Okay. Sometimes it happens like this. This is a story of a man in a desert. He's wandering in the desert looking for water. He could not find water anyway. Then fortunately, he sees one hut nearby. So he goes into the hut and he goes around the hut and he could not see water at all. And very serious, he definitely wants badly need of water, so he goes around once seriously and checking for water. But he saw a note there and a bottle of water. The note says, you use this water, you pour the water into the pump nearby and pump the water. Pour the water into the pump and pump water. You drink as much as you want, you take as much as you want, and then fill the bottle again before leaving. Now, the situation puts him into this critical critical situation. He is in a dilemma now, whether to drink the water, which he found with so much difficulty, to drink the water or to use the water in the pump. He believes, so he uses the water in the pump and pumps the water. Water comes gushing out. He drinks as much as he can, and then he fills the bottle. He takes a flask with him. He fills the flask with water, and then he took the note and he added something in the note. Believe it works. So you have to believe in yourself. Sometimes the life will put you into difficult situations where you have to choose only one, and don't be in a dilemma. Only take risk. See that it works. Take risk and see that it works. This is a wonderful story of a man in the desert. He writes, fill the bottle with water for the next person to use. This was the note there, and he takes the note and writes, believe it worked for me. So let us believe, whatever decisions we take, let us believe it works. So all of us have heaven and hell within us. We cannot take away the hell and have heaven alone. Both goes simultaneously. You will have difficulties, you will have happiness. The difficulties teach you some lessons, and let us also follow them. Now I have some 10 quick pictures for you. I think I'll take another 10 minutes, 10 quick pictures. It's something like rapid fire round. You don't have to answer anything. I'm going to talk with these 10 pictures. Now this is a lovely picture of 3 persons working with an AC. Now look at this, only one person is working with that air condition and the other 2 are simply standing. Okay, but just look at the picture and feel the importance of the 2 persons. You feel the importance of those 2 persons. Don't you think they are important? This is what happens in our workplace. Sometimes we will be allotted duties. You will be in a team, and in the team you will be given not so important work. You will be given not so important work, which will humiliate you. But don't think like that. Every person, any role you take, whichever role you take, whichever place you are in, you are important. Remember the first activity we had, you are precious. Okay, even the smallest work we do, we will gain some experience in that. That is how we have gained experiences. Every small work, every extra responsibility we get teaches us something. You get better and better and better. And when I joined the college after 10 years of school experience, within 3 months' time, I was promoted as a head of the department. When other colleagues were 9-10 years of experience in college itself, and I was I was heading the department as well as I was in the examination cell as well. Okay, as it is, I did not have much experience in the college. I had only 3 months of experience in the college. But what I have learned throughout in school for 10 years helped me, and some good principles could understand what I opportunity to do it. So every tiny thing you do will help, and many a times I have regretted when I got a college recruitment. I did not join there. I went and joined in the school because my son was studying in school. So many times I used to regret, oh, why I worked in 10 why I worked in school for 10 years having done MPhil. I have thought like that, but you know that 10 years of experience gave me an opportunity to author a textbook, mathematics textbook, and that was approved by the Tamil Nadu government in 2011. So now I don't regret at all. Now I don't regret at all. So every bit of responsibility given extra to you will teach you something and will take you to altitude. Life. Too much money blocks your vision of life. Education alone gives you a limited view. Education and money puts you on a balance of life. Life without education and money leaves you in the dark. This is what is happening for the students also. So along with your teaching, you have to give them some lessons for life also. So every class, the student should expect you to tell something nice about the life. So you make it a practice. Planning for a class is different from preparing for a class. Preparing for a class is what you teach, what you are going to teach, and the lessons, English or science or what. But planning for a class is different. Planning for a class means in the beginning, say in every class, I have to give them one quote. I have to give them one anecdote. Okay. So when you go through these anecdotes, every week, Friday, I am going to give one anecdote to the student, which is a lifetime lesson for the student. Okay. So every Friday, he will be curiously waiting for you. That makes a difference in a teacher. Sometimes in life, everything goes smoothly, and sometimes unexpected happens. The important thing is knowing how to turn problems into opportunities. This is another picture where you are very happy to see a pencil and an eraser, but it breaks. So you cannot throw it away. You have to turn those problems into opportunities. What does it mean? You sharpen, and at the last picture you can see I have 3 pencils and 1 eraser. So this is what is turning your problems into opportunities. Now we have grown with a lot of politics in the workplace, lot of humiliations in the workplace. All that will happen, but simply ignore. And beyond that, your goal has to the goal has to remind you that you work more. Okay, your goal keeps reminding you whenever you are put into these situations, these humiliations or disappointments. All that is normal for life, but how you change that is important. Now look at this picture, very nice picture it is. This is a person who won Not My Work competition. A person who won Not My Work competition. So he's painting and he saw some plant, dried plant over there. He doesn't want to remove the plant, he's simply painting and going. This is the kind of students sometimes we are handling. Okay, it is not their job. They think education is not their job, scoring is not their job. The parents have put them into school. I am coming. That is what is their attitude, few students. So you must know how to handle, and this is a common problem for everywhere, from middle school to high school to higher education. Okay. So understand the situation of the student. The student may be coming from a low economical background, or he may be having some problems with his stepmother, something like that. We don't understand what his problem is. But if you talk to them, suppose a student is dull in the class, instead of scolding him, just ask him, Mama, I think you are dull. You just lie down. I will teach you after the school hours, and come and discuss what. So that also we need not tell in the class. You just meet him after the school hours and ask him for the problem. And these kind of students can be definitely rectified. So this is another similar example. Not my job. This is another one. Not my job. The tie has to be on the shirt. So tie is on the shirt. That's all. This is what happens sometimes with our students. It is fun for them, but it is irritating for us. Don't be sad if a person prefers another person over you, because you can't convince the monkey that money is sweeter than banana. Sometimes this also happens. However, if how much ever effort you put, you are not considered, and somebody else is considered. So that is not your time. It is not your time. Your time will come. Before going to this story, I would like to tell you about the fern and bamboo. A man planted a fern. Man planted fern and bamboo simultaneously. He's taking care, the same care he's taking for both the plants. But the fern grows fast. Okay, every year he sees first year fern grows fast, nothing happens to the bamboo tree. And then second year he plants again. Second year he sees the ferns. It has grown enormously. Okay, a beautiful green is seen all over, but the bamboo seed is still nothing happens. Third year the same, fourth year the same, and fifth year tiny sproutings come from the bamboo. And within 6 months, it grows enormously to 100 feet height. Fern and a bamboo. Fern grows in the beginning itself. The same amount of light is given to both the plants. The same amount of water is given to both the plants. The same amount of care is taken to both the plants. Okay, but the bamboo shoots up 100 feet height only after 5 years. So that is what is there with the students also. Just because one student is intelligent, we cannot say the other student also has to score. So I am interested in mathematics, but I cannot expect my son to be interested in mathematics. Okay, but what we have to do is, we only have to train them, help them to score. So I cannot force him to have interest in mathematics, but what I can do is, I can help him score in mathematics. When you help him score in mathematics, he will definitely have interest in mathematics. The same with other subjects. So just because, see, I hate history and geography. When I was in school, I hated the history and geography, but I was interested in mathematics. Okay, but the same happens for the others also. Let us think from their others view also. Now this is another one. A crow sat on a tree doing nothing. When a rabbit thought to do the same and sat on the ground, a tiger came and ate him. The moral is, to sit and do nothing, you need to be on the top. I'm sure everybody were thinking about the ladder of success, and everyone wants to go on top. Okay, but before we go on top, we should remember that our skills are more important, and we have to develop our skills. Every year we have to spend time in developing our skills. Now, you know what I did for my son? Every year, every birthday, I will fix something for him. This birthday onwards, you have to clean this. This birthday onwards, that. And for 10th birthday, I told him that you have to read the newspaper every day. For his 10th, after the 10th birthday, every day you have to sit with the newspaper. So what he will do is, he will take the newspaper. Because I force him, he will only see the obituary column. Okay, and my elders at home said, why are you forcing him to read? That's why he's looking at the obituary column. It's okay. Let him look at the obituary column. Gradually, he started looking at the other articles. And when he was 15, he will not move out of the house without reading the newspaper. And he started cultivating the habit of reading textbooks, reading books, fiction, non-fiction, and all that. And that is when he realized the importance. And now you have a lot of apps, Kindle apps and all that, and we'll have to start reading. Now, when you start reading, you know how much we change our vision, how much we will gain experience in handling the problems. And this is success what we see. Okay, this success, only when somebody is on the victory stand, we see their success. But you know, under that you see how many aspects are there: desire, training, injury, lessening, sacrifice, feedback, courage, blood, sweat and tears. We did not see all that. We saw them only when they are on the victory stand. So already I told you, the efforts doesn't matter, only the results matter. And let us go through everybody goes through the painful process. So let us also go through the paining process. You may think that it is irrelevant for mentoring. It is relevant for mentoring, because once just like our pencils and the lead, once we upgrade ourselves, our handling, the way we handle things will be definitely different and unique. This is about asparagus. So this is also another plant which will take 4 years to mature. but once it matures, it will give harvest for 20 years. So why I have put this picture is this is something like our students. This 4 years of maturity, the students are in your hands. Students are in your hands when they are upskill. I mean, they're developing their skills, they're developing their mannerisms, they are developing their knowledge. So those 4 years when they are with you, you will have to be patient. Okay, they will make mistakes. We made mistakes, so they will also make mistakes. So if you understand that you have the responsibility of training them, we will not get angry at all. Now look at the attitude of the boy who is smiling at the thunder and lightning. There is lightning on the sky, and the boy is standing there looking at the lightning and he's smiling at it. Okay, and the mother sees the boy and asks, what are you doing with this? What are you doing? Why are you smiling? And you know, the boy said, God is taking pictures of me. I want to look handsome. That's why I'm smiling. So that is the attitude. That is the attitude of the boy. So we will have to change our point of view. You cannot change your future, but you can change your habits. And surely your habits will change your future. So our habits will change your future. So I had a colleague in my college. He just passed out from Loyola College. He was just 24 years old. When he entered the college itself, he said that he will not take textbooks to the classroom. He will not take textbooks to the classroom. So what he will do is, he will write the questions in a big paper, in a small paper, and he will go with the paper only. Okay, so that was his principle. That was his habit. So we can have some habits like that. So just like I told you, you plan your class. You plan your class. See, first 2 minutes, I may discuss something about the current affairs. Current affairs related to your subject or current affairs not related to your subject. So that will kindle interest in the students. They will think, okay, sir is going to come today. He's going to discuss something about it. We are going to discuss something nice. Then you go to your regular teaching. Story of the baby mosquito. Many of you would have read in WhatsApp. The baby mosquito is sent by the mother mosquito to go around, and when the baby mosquito comes back, mother asks what happened, and the baby mosquito says, everyone clapped when I went around. The clapping is for some other purpose, but it takes it in a right thing. So when you have disappointments in life, disappointments in workplace, take it in a right sense. And you know how much you will improve. The finest steel has to go through the hottest fire. So this is my favorite quote. I used to keep it in my WhatsApp whenever I am depressed. Even a finest steel has to go through the hottest fire. Don't mind the hottest fire. There will be problems. That is natural for everybody. How you deal with it is important. Learning gives creativity. Creativity leads to thinking. Thinking provides knowledge. Knowledge makes you great. Learning gives creativity. Creativity leads to thinking. Thinking provides knowledge. The knowledge makes you great. So I am again ending with the pencil again. It is like instruments of God. We are like instruments in the hand of God. As a pencil, can it make a beautiful painting? Can it make a beautiful sketch? No. When it is in the hands of the architect, he can make a beautiful painting. Do you all agree with me? When it's in the hands of architect, a beautiful of God. God believes us that we can bring a change in the life of students, and we will do that in the hands of God. And let us believe that we will be able to do that. And this is another one. Don't practice until you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong. Don't practice until you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong. Believe you can, and you are halfway there. And this is my humble suggestion, humble request. When God blesses you financially, don't raise your standard of living, raise your standard of giving. Giving is not just giving money, donating clothes, all that. Giving is giving a change in the life of students, change in the life of people around you, change in the life of your neighbors, change in the life of someone who believes in you. Again, I tell you, donating clothes, donating money is meant by giving. Of course, that is also there. Giving is also changing somebody's life. And this is my phone number. And I will share with you my Padlet. This is my Padlet. I will. I'm done with this, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Do you have a time to get few feedbacks?
Yeah, yes, sir. We will have some interaction. We can have
Yeah.
some interaction. By the time I will send my Padlet link.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
They can even share their views. Anybody wants to discuss anything, please
Right.
do share that.
Right. Usha ma'am, Usha Satyamurthy ma'am, the Vice Principal of KRM.
My Padlet. You can use this link to give the feedback about the session. You should write your name and then you have to type your feedback. Otherwise, it will come as anonymous. So you can, and if you want, you can give your feedback in the chat box also.
Right.
And
Thank you,
anybody
ma'am.
wants to share anything you want to, if you
Yeah,
don't
Usha
agree
ma'am.
with what I said also, you can talk now. Feel free to ask.
Usha ma'am. Unmute, please. Unmute and talk.
Morning, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
You can talk with ma'am.
yeah. Ma'am, very interesting session. Even though we know so many things when we are reading WhatsApp, everything, when you were presenting it in a different way, which motivate our teachers. See, the way you said that planning, everybody can teach, but planning is very, very important, you said. That is very true. So that, we can reach the heights. And also the goals. Definitely, we should have that goals. Even I'm above 50, as you said. I wanted to have my doctor in front of my name, and I have joined my PhD now, and I'm doing it. So this is what the goals on that passion. So the way you have said everything, it will motivate our teachers, and it will take teachers to a different level. And definitely there will be a change in our teachers also when they are presenting their classes and other things. Thank you so much, ma'am. Definitely it was a very interesting session. Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My best wishes for your doctorate, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Usha ma'am. Anyone else who would like to share? Kolathur Gauri ma'am, Principal of Kolathur. Gauri ma'am, I saw you somewhere. Okay. Anyway, anybody else would like to share? Share your thoughts.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes,
Sir, can I?
Yes.
Sir, can I proceed?
Please, ma'am. Please, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Jailish, ma'am.
Yeah, sir.
I thought
Wonderful
of
meeting that you had arranged. Ma'am, it's a wonderful session.
Thank you so much.
The very importantly, you told that you have your goal for year. This year you have done this, and the upcoming year you wanted to do a paper presentation, and whatever is your desire, you had set it as a goal and you're achieving it. The graph you showed about your progress was wonderful. We had never thought of having such for one. Maybe I will also create one and see where I stand and what is the next growth. And for your child, on every birthday, not only asking about what is the gift the child wants to have as a surprise or something, you had assigned a task to showcase that the child has become more responsible, mature, to become independent. That is wonderful. And very importantly, ma'am, when we have any program activities, there are people who think that my role is very meager. I may not be a very important person in this program. But the picture what you showed for this example, a person repairing a AC and another person standing holding the ladder under their feet. So every member is important. That is where by understanding everyone's role, skill, certain task had been arranged. So it is so beautifully said in that picture, and a wonderful example. On the whole, very simple stories and quotations you brought in, but with that you related with the real life incident so very nice. Ma'am. Thank you so much. A lot of learning and insight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Purna ma'am. It's really, really wonderful and awakening session. You made us to think, you made us to experience, you made us to feel, right? The great things I've done. A lot of nuances of the teaching learning process you have highlighted. These are all a very good learning for every one of us. And I often used to wonder about your boldness. Yeah, that is a great inspiration for me too. So I always used to share with my colleagues, please be bold, please be, have some aspiration in your life instead of getting that stagnating somewhere. You rightly pointed out, and it's a great, rendering today, great presentation today. So thanks a lot from on behalf of our management, school management, and my colleagues. It's really a great privilege and a pleasure to listen to you today, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Continue to give us